Hello there guys, welcome to one of my live videos, and on this video there is lots to negotiate about. I am going to be giving you an update on some more transfer news, keeping you up to date of what players are linked with Manchester United. Now obviously every day more or less I do give you an update on the transfer news and that. Also, to as you all know on my videos I do match previews, I also do match reactions. Obviously, I can't do this though at this moment in time because obviously, the Premier League season is suspended until April the 30th. But I think it is it is going to resume on the 1st of June, and all games are going to be completed within 6 weeks and that. So June is like a couple of months away, isn't it? But up until then, I will be doing videos on transfer news. So yeah, so I am going to be giving you some additional information on Jude Bellingham because more news is updated about him. Also going to be giving you some more latest news on Pogba, and I will probably talking with you a bit more about Harry Kane. So the first topic of the development I'm going to start with is Jude Bellingham. So according to recent reports, and this is stemming from the German press, they've actually said that Borussia Dortmund have now ended their interest in Jude Bellingham. Now, the main explanation for this is because Borussia Dortmund have put their transfer plans on hold, and also too, they're uncertain over their finances because, as you all know, a lot of clubs are under financial pressure due to this coronavirus. So now with Borussia Dortmund allegedly cooling their interest in Jude Bellingham, we've been given a boost in our pursuit for Jude Bellingham. Now, obviously, it said, was it recently, that, our contract offer for Jude Bellingham, which was around £100,000 a week, it was actually less than Borussia Dortmund's bid. This is what it basically said. But there's been a few clubs that have expressed their interest in Jude Bellingham, Man United, Borussia Dortmund, Bayern Munich, Chelsea. I think also Liverpool have been in there for the player as well because Jude Bellingham is expected to leave Birmingham at the end of the season, but his next destination is unknown. I still probably believe that Borussia Dortmund are emerged as, well, they have been emerged as the favourites to sign Jude Bellingham. Now, obviously, he's going to cost in the excess of around £30 million because this is what Birmingham have quoted out that they want. So, obviously, this would make him the most expensive British teenager in history, Jude Bellingham. And obviously, this is his first season at Birmingham, is Jude Bellingham's in the senior squad at Birmingham. Obviously, up until this point, he's spent the entirety of his career with Birmingham. He's been a Birmingham City player since the age of 8 as the player. Now, obviously, he's been playing persistently this season as Jude Bellingham. He's played around 30-odd games in the Championship. But like I mentioned, I don't think he's at the elite level as yet. I don't think he's Premier League standard. So I think Birmingham do need to give him at least another season in the Championship, to gain him more experience. And obviously, if he was to be given another season and he was to replicate what he's done this season, he'd probably be worth more than £30 million. Now, obviously, a couple of weeks ago, this fueled a lot of speculation up. Jude Bellingham had visited our Carrington training ground. Don't forget, he'd held talks with Sir Alex Ferguson. Also, too, his parents met up with Ed Woodward. So he is a priority target for Manchester United's Jude Bellingham. He's predominantly number 10. You can also play him on the wing. Jude Bellingham, by the way, is expected to sign his professional contract in the summer when he does turn 17 because he is only the age of 16 at the moment. And don't forget, he became the youngest player to ever represent Birmingham. He made his debut at the age of 16 years and 38 days. But, some players that do come from the Championship to the Premier League are, sometimes tend to do well. Daniel James has done really, really well, and we got him from the Championship. So, yeah, there's still a chance, we could get Jude Bellingham in the summer. But maybe quite a lot of clubs' transfer business could be affected, due to the coronavirus. So, yeah, that's the latest news on Jude Bellingham. I wanted to give you an update on. But it actually said that Birmingham and Borussia Dortmund have, between them clubs, a fee had been agreed for Jude Bellingham and the terms had been agreed. But now, reportedly, they have ended their interest in Bellingham. So now we will delve into news on Paul Pogba. So I was reading ESPN and I was reading a few other media outlets. This was stemmed from Rob Dawson, by the way, saying now that Manchester United are very confident that they can keep Paul Pogba. Now, the main explanation for this is because, we've got doubts whether Europe, elites, clubs can afford Paul Pogba. Because obviously, we want over £100 million for Pogba. And plus, he's on around £300,000 a week at Manchester United. So he is one of the highest paid players. So we obviously no doubt that Real Madrid and Juventus can afford him. So this is why we think, he could stay at Manchester United. Now, obviously, Duncan Castles came out the other day and he tends to be close to Manchester United. And, he said anyway that Paul Pogba could be expected to stay at Manchester United at least for another year due to the coronavirus. This is the main explanation why. And actually, Paul Pogba had made a decision on a Real Madrid transfer. And reportedly now anyway, he said he doesn't want to make a move to Real Madrid. I think if he is to leave Manchester United, he'd more than likely probably make a return back to Juventus, because Pogba did enjoy 4 good years in Juventus. Obviously, since he rejoined the football club from Juventus back in 2016, the vast majority of his performances have been totally comparison. And, we paid £89 million for him. Obviously, as you all know, Paul Pogba's agent, Mini Raiola, at least in the last couple of years, has been working on trying to get his client a transfer away from Manchester United completed. Don't forget, since the turn of the year, Mini Raiola has been talking a lot. He's been recently saying, he wants to take a great footballer to Real Madrid. He also said, that Paul Pogba's having a complicated time at Manchester United, because he has found game time difficult this season, but only due to the injuries he's had. He's only played around 8 times this season. Don't forget, his agent Mini Raiola said before that Paul Pogba is not Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's property. As you all know, Mini Raiola has made a number of public attacks against the football club, and over the course of last weekend, Ed Woodward had negotiations with Paul Pogba's agent. He'd been back in negotiations to obviously try and resolve Paul Pogba's future, and to obviously stop Mini Raiola making public attacks against the football club. So yeah, he could be staying at Manchester United at least for another year. I think it's probably likely that Man United will trigger that 1-year extension on his contract. But obviously, the other week, it did say that Paul Pogba anyway was interested in staying at Manchester United, and he was interested in extending his contracts at the club. Because I think the main explanation why he revealed why he wanted to remain at the club is because he believes he can form a partnership with Bruno Fernandes, because Pogba is aware of the impact that Bruno Fernandes has made at Manchester United. And I think, they would do well together in our midfield. They would make a good partnership. So this is one of the main explanations why I did say he wanted to stay. Obviously, Solskjaer reiterated what he said after our 5-0 win against Lask. And he actually, said that Paul Pogba, will remain at Manchester United next season. But, since he rejoined the football club from Juventus back in 2016, he has had a long-running transfer saga. Because obviously, he's been subjected to so much transfer speculation this year, last summer, back under Jose Mourinho era. To be honest with you, I think quite a lot of our top players would have been gone by now if Jose Mourinho would have still been here, because Jose Mourinho had a lot of bad disputes with our top players. Not only top players, he also had bad disputes with the board, and this is the main explanations why it didn't work out under the Jose Mourinho era. This is the main explanation why, So yeah, and obviously, last summer, his preference was a move to Real Madrid, but he revealed last summer, Paul Pogba, that he wanted to leave Manchester United. He did basically say he was seeking for a new challenge, and he actually publicly admitted that he wanted to leave the football club. Now, it confirmed last week that we was willing to let Paul Pogba go for just £100 million. So that figure is totally comparison to last summer's figure. So he said, we'd slashed around £80 million off our asking price. Yes, he said we slashed £80 million off our asking price. But yeah, he says we're willing to let him go for £100 million in the summer. But don't forget, the other week, it confirmed that Paul Pogba had been back in training and he had some personal coaching with Michael Carrick. So when the season does resume, Paul Pogba will be back playing, and like Solskjaer revealed, he's excited about the prospect of Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba playing together in our midfield. So yeah, Paul Pogba, could end up staying at Manchester United. Don't forget, obviously, PSG and Barca have been in for him in the past, so his future, does still remain uncertain. He's 27 years of age, he's Pogba, so he has still got a lot of years ahead of him. But yeah, so that's the latest news on him to now. Reportedly, Man United are confident that they can keep Paul Pogba at least for another year. So now I am going to delve into news on Harry Kane. Now, I was talking a lot with you guys about Harry Kane, wasn't I, yesterday? And I've been keeping up to date with him on a regular basis because, Harry Kane is on Manchester United's agenda. Now, Alan Shearer has come out and, he actually, believes that Harry Kane will quit Tottenham if Tottenham don't win anything next year. Now, obviously, Tottenham can't win anything this season because, they're not in any competition. They're no longer in the FA Cup. They're not in the Champions League. Tottenham's ambitions this season will be to finish either fourth or fifth, so they can get, a qualification for the Champions League. Obviously, Kane has made it clear that, he's unhappy at Tottenham. Obviously, for us to step up our interest in Harry Kane, we want him to publicly declare that he wants to leave Tottenham and that he does want to come to Manchester United. Now, obviously, Tottenham have revealed how much they would want for Harry Kane, and obviously, they would want around £150 million for him. That figure, obviously, means that would make him a record signing in the Premier League. Not only that, probably the third most expensive player in the world, behind Neymar and Kylian Mbappe. But, there hasn't only been Man United in for Harry Kane, City and also too Juventus have been in for him. Real Madrid have been in for him. But if Kane leaves Tottenham, I'm very sceptical that he'll come to Manchester United. I think it's probably more chance of him going to Real Madrid than coming to Manchester United. But like I mentioned, I don't see Kane coming to Man United. Obviously, Harry Kane has been at Tottenham now for several years. He's been in their senior squad since 2011. And obviously, he's now, 26, 27 years of age is Harry Kane. Kane, by the way, is Tottenham's third highest goal scorer in their history, behind Bobby Smith and Jimmy Greaves, because Harry Kane has 181 goals in 278 appearances in all competitions and has around 130-odd goals in the Premier League. Kane, back in the summer of 2018, committed his long-term future with Tottenham because he did sign a new 6-year contract. I think it was worth around 200 grand a week, was that bonuses included. And as it stands now, he's got 4 years remaining on his contract. But I'm definitely can assure you guys he won't see out the remainder of his 4-year contract. Also, got some news that Kane is very, very close now to returning to first-team training because now he is stepping up his fitness regime because, as you all know, Harry Kane has been out of a hamstring injury for a couple of months, and Tottenham do know how much of a big miss he has been. Now, the other bad news for Tottenham is if they fail to get qualification for Europe, any European football, Jose Mourinho will only have £50 million to spend this summer. That's what reports were coming out the other week. But a lot of Tottenham fans anyway are obviously, very critical of Mourinho, and a lot of Tottenham fans are demanding him out. But I do believe that Tottenham did make a mistake by getting rid of Mauricio Pochettino, because Tottenham were competing in and out of the top four, when they had Mauricio Pochettino. And there was in Champions League football a lot under Mauricio Pochettino, but I'm very, very sceptical that Tottenham will get it this season. And as you all know, Manchester United, purchased a player from North London, and that was Robin van Persie back in 2012. And at one point, it was looking extremely unlikely that Man United were going to get him, but then we ended up getting him all of a sudden. And you can say he won us the league back in 2013, reflecting on the amount of goals that Robin van Persie had scored. So a similar sort of thing, could happen with Harry Kane, believe it or not. But he's been urged by a few people, to remain at Tottenham. And as you all know as well, don't forget Daniel Levy is a good businessman when it comes to transfers and that, but he's also a hard negotiator, is Daniel Levy. Like I mentioned, we've done business with Tottenham in the past. Obviously, we got Berbatov from them. We got Michael Carrick from them. Carrick enjoyed around 12 years with Man United. So reiterate what I've just said. Daniel Levy is a very, very hard negotiator. I don't know if Ed Woodward's had any talks with him. It said a while back that Ed Woodward was set to have talks with him and that. But I don't see Kane coming to Manchester United. I can't see that happening. He's well proven in the Premier League. And like I mentioned, he's been on loan at a few clubs. He was on loan at Leyton Orient, Millwall, Norwich and Leicester was Harry Kane. But I think, it would complement our attacking line really, really well because obviously, Kane knows Rashford because obviously, Rashford's English. But Manchester United have been in for Kane at least for the last 5 years or so. And another main explanation why Kane could possibly stay at Tottenham is due to the coronavirus. So, yeah, that's the latest news on him. So, I'd like to know if you'd like Harry Kane at Manchester United because, Man United definitely need a striker, there's no doubt about it. Even though, it's looking likely Man United are going to get Odion Ighalo on a permanent basis because according to reports a couple of days ago, he says, we're looking to get him on a permanent basis. It will cost Manchester United around £15 million to get Odion Ighalo in on a permanent basis. And, we're looking to extend it. He said we're looking to extend his loan until June the 30th. This is due to the coronavirus pandemic because his current loan spell ends on May the 31st. Does Odion Ighalo's. But I've got to say, Odion Ighalo's enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career. Like I mentioned, he's got 4 goals in 3 starts for the club and he's provided a couple of assists. And like I mentioned, Odion Ighalo's totally comparison to our other attacking players. But like I mentioned, he's an option of a different type of centre forward. His hold-up play is very, very good and he's been a Manchester United fan since he was a boy. But as it stands at the moment, we've got him on loan and Man United are paying like a third of his wages. But looking likely we are going to, try and get him on a permanent transfer in the summer. But we still do need a striker. But, there's a lot of strikers on our agenda. But, there's cheaper solutions than Harry Kane. Timo Werner would be a much cheaper solution than Harry Kane. He'd cost us like 3 times less than Harry Kane because I think Timo Werner's available for like 50 or is it £51 million. Obviously, he's been relentlessly linked to a move to Anfield. Obviously, Sky in Germany, this is what he told Sky in Germany last month, that he was attracted to a move to Anfield. He also said Jurgen Klopp was the best manager in the world. But I just don't think he'd get in Liverpool's team week in, week out unless Liverpool sold one of their attacking trio in Salah, Firmino or Mane. But his release clause is due to expire at the end of April, is Timo Werner's. RP Leipzig's sporting director came out, this was in Sky Sports, saying his future is uncertain and could be denied a move to the Premier League due to the coronavirus. But he'd be a cheaper solution than Harry Kane. Even Patrick Aubameyang, Emerick Aubameyang, he'd be a much cheaper solution than Harry Kane. Would get him for like 3 times less than Kane because Aubameyang is available for around £50 million because Arsenal value Aubameyang around £50 million. And he's definitely expected to leave Arsenal because Arsenal have come to accept the fact that Aubameyang is not going to be signing a new deal with them. But obviously, Arsenal do want to cash in for him this summer rather than letting go on a free transfer in the summer of 2021 because that's when his current contract expires. Now, Aubameyang may not come to Man United, but, there's been a few clubs in for him. Chelsea, Barcelona, PSG, Liverpool. So there's actually, been quite a few clubs in for Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Now, I do like Aubameyang a lot. I think he's a very, very good player. Probably one of Arsenal's best players. Arsenal did purchase him from Borussia Dortmund back in January 2018 for £56 million. So he's actually one of Arsenal's most expensive signings. And now he's been at Arsenal over 2 years. And in the 2 years or so he's been with Arsenal, he's made 75 appearances in the Premier League and scored 49 goals. He's on the verge of breaking the record, by the way, becoming the fastest player to score 50 goals for Arsenal. And I think he's got around 61 goals, hasn't he, in all competitions as Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. But I do really, really like him a lot. He is 30 years of age, so he is aging up a bit as Aubameyang. But I think Man United have inquired about his availability before. It's actually been Barcelona that have been relentlessly linked with Aubameyang. But I think it said the other week where he was willing to put around the £50 million bidding for the player. Don't forget, you know, we've done business with Arsenal in the past. Like I mentioned, we got Sanchez from them back in January 2018. You know, Van Persie from them. And we'd hope he could be the next Robin Van Persie, Aubameyang, if he was to come to Manchester United. Obviously, he did well during his time with Dortmund, played for St Etienne, played for Monaco, played for Lille. Actually began his career in Italy with Milan. But Aubameyang also too is a bit like Timo Werner, you know, he can play in more than one position. Aubameyang's predominantly a central striker, but you can also put him out wide. So probably, you know, I'd rather get Aubameyang or Timo Werner in than Harry Kane because the cheaper solutions, plus they can play more than one position in that. But yeah, definitely Manchester United do need to get a striker in because Solskjaer, you know, has identified the areas where he thinks Manchester United need to strengthen up. And, you know, he thinks we definitely need a striker. He thinks we definitely need a right winger. And we also need a central midfield. And I think also too Manchester United are in search for a central defender. And Solskjaer has revealed that Man United need around 3 signings this summer to become title contenders next season. We have got to recruit the right calibre players in. And, you know, we need qualification for the Champions League, I'd say, for us to get the right calibre players in, definitely. And obviously now I give you the big news, didn't I, regarding Jadon Sancho yesterday night. I give you the big news. Looking very, very imminent. He's going to be coming to Manchester United in the summer because I do believe that Manchester United does remain Jadon Sancho's #1 choice. Now, it fueled a lot of speculation up yesterday because he called Jesse Lingard up on Instagram. So does that indicate out that he's on his way to Old Trafford? Also to Fabrizio Romano, who's an Italian journalist, and he's very, very reliable, by the way. And he said that Man United have been in contact with Jadon Sancho's agent for 2 months. And also, too, we've been working on his contracts and that. But I don't think a fee or else has come to an agreement yet between Man United and Borussia Dortmund. But Jadon Sancho is expected to cost around £100 million at least. Maybe he could cost around £120 million. But basically, you know, Duncan Castles, he came out, was it a month or so ago, and he said, you know, that Man United is only the option for him in the summer, Jadon Sancho, but he said Man United were the favourites to sign him. He said Man United were the favourites to sign him. By the way, Jadon Sancho is the highest valued young player in the world, with around 184 million, double than his teammate Erling Haaland. And this was according to a study called CIES. But yeah, I'd love Jadon Sancho at Manchester United. So I obviously already given you the latest news regarding him yesterday anyway. But like I mentioned, it's very, very good that we're making plans for the summer transfer window. You know, Ed Woodward's been talking. You know, he basically said that he's determined to back Solskjaer. Don't forget, he said a while back he's, you know, going to lay the foundations for long-term success with him. Also, to the Glazers, you know, backing Solskjaer and that. And there's still quite a lot of our players that are backing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Don't forget, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's transfer strategy is he wants to continue the policy of recruiting young players to Manchester United like he did do last summer. And as it stands already, we have got a lot of young players at the club. We have got a lot of young players at the club and that. But like I mentioned, it does remain unknown whether Solskjaer will be Manchester United manager next season. Like I said yesterday, I said it on my other videos, I think, you know, we should give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at least another season at Manchester United. You know, we have got quite a few priorities this season. One of those priorities is the Europa League, because the Europa League is a chance for us getting some silverware on the board. Plus, it's another route to Champions League football. Also, too, the FA Cup is a priority for us, because that's a chance for us getting some silverware on the board. But I think he'll be given another season, definitely, if we can get qualification for the Champions League. Because, you know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has now been at Manchester United for 15 months. He has been here over the year. And he's been permanent Manchester United manager now for around a year and that. The main explanation why Man United gave him the job permanently is reflecting on what he did when he was the interim manager in that 3-month period. But, you know, like I said, I've got to give us a lot of credit recently because we've really improved. Like I mentioned, Man United are on an 11-game unbeaten run. And that's our best vein of form since Solskjaer was the interim manager. Also, too, you know, our record against the Big Six sides this season has also, you know, been very, very good. Obviously, Solskjaer's become the first manager in history to beat Pep Guardiola 3 times in one season. Obviously, he's beaten Chelsea 4 times in total. He's beaten Frank Lampard 3 times. Drew with Liverpool earlier on in the season. So we have actually, done really, really well against elite opposition this season. And now Solskjaer's he's seen to have got the best out of the players, which is obviously, very, very good to see. Obviously, I'm still very sceptical that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is a long-term solution for Manchester United. But I would give him at least another season because he's still in the process of rebuilding this Manchester United team, is Solskjaer. Because analysing the vast majority of this Man United team, it isn't Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's. The vast majority of these players are Jose Mourinho's. Jose Mourinho, like I mentioned, recommended 11 players into the club. And, like Solskjaer was talking about Mourinho the other week, he was explaining how he had to overhaul Manchester United when he left. And a lot of things needed to change, including personnel, tactics, players, and this is, what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was basically saying in that. But, he's still inheriting players here from the Van Gaal era, there's still Matt here from the David Moyes era, there's still a couple of players here from the Alex Ferguson era. So, he's still in the process of rebuilding. So far, Solskjaer has recommended 5 players to Manchester United and spent around £220 million on them. And Man United are definitely, going to spend a substantial amount in the summer on bringing more players in. But, there's still a lot to do at Manchester United, like I mentioned. Analysing it throughout the course of this season, there hasn't only been problems with the management. I said, a lot of United fans have been doubting the club's ownership. We've also been criticising Ed Woodward. We've also been very, very sceptical about our board. So, yeah, and I did say, didn't I, we need to see a variety of changes at the club. But Solskjaer is Manchester United's 4th permanent manager since the Alex Ferguson era. And obviously, we've already sacked 3 managers since the Ferguson era. We got rid of Moyes, we got rid of Van Gaal, and we got rid of Mourinho. But Man United are not really known for the sacking football club anyway, despite the fact that we've already sacked 3 managers and that. We're not really known for a sacking football club. And if we did decide to sack Solskjaer, it would cost us anyway. Obviously, when we got him in from Mould, we had to pay a couple of million, to get him as the interim manager. And then when obviously, we give him the job permanently, we had to pay a further £7 or £8 million to Mould. But of course, Mould were happy for him to leave. Man United is the 3rd club that Solskjaer is managing in his managerial career. Because before he came to us, he was at Mould. He also was at Cardiff because his record at Cardiff was also disastrous. He got sacked in Cardiff because he got Cardiff relegated. I think he only managed around 29 games for Cardiff. Oh yeah, I'll put into the equation as well, Solskjaer did manage the Man United reserve team for a couple of years. But he is inexperienced as a manager, but the longer he's in the Man United job, the longer he's going to gain more experience. He was a great player for the football club with Solskjaer because he enjoyed 11 great years at Man United. Solskjaer did reveal when Ferguson first signed him that he got mocked in the dressing room. Solskjaer did reveal, by the way, before he came to Man United in '96, that Liverpool and the likes of Bayern Munich did want to sign him, but he only wanted to come to Manchester United and that. But he was a great player for the football club. Mainly made an impact as a sub, did Solskjaer. Did Solskjaer and that. But Man United are going to get rid of players in the summer, obviously. I think we're planning on getting rid of around 5 players in the summer. And I think the players we'll get rid of, we'll probably get rid of Phil Jones. He'll be one player because he can't even get in the team now anyway. I think we'll probably get rid of, we'll definitely, should I say, get rid of Lingard and Pereira because Solskjaer snubbed them players and even left them out of the team selection before this coronavirus outbreak. Lingard's found game time difficult since the arrival of Bruno Fernandes. Pereira's found game time difficult since McTominay's come back. So I think we need to move them both on. Angel Gomez, now there's uncertainty over his future. He seldom played under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as Angel Gomez. But I think Solskjaer still wants to keep Angel Gomez, so maybe he will stay at Man United. We'll look to get rid of Sanchez on a permanent transfer. And we'll also look to get rid of Rojo on a permanent transfer. And that there's still possibility that De Gea could leave because there's rumours saying that Dean Henson could become our #1 goalkeeper when he does return from his loan spell from Sheffield United. So we'll see what happens. And obviously, Rashford, he's going to be out for at least the next couple of weeks, isn't he, Marcus Rashford? I think he's been training. He's been doing some fitness at home, hasn't he? He knows Marcus Rashford on a bike, I think. But he's stepping up his fitness regime, which is very, very good to see. He's been out for a while as Marcus Rashford, and you've got to say he has been a big miss. But Odi Nagalo, like I mentioned, is a good cover-up for him. By the way, our team will be returning to training on the 10th of April. That's when the Carrington Training Complex will reopen because it's shut at the moment due to the coronavirus and that. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.